Did you ever have a moment that shattered your sense of safety? Like the world around you suddenly became unfamiliar, dangerous, and wrong? I did. And I've never looked at night the same way again. It happened about 5 years ago. I was living downtown in a major US city, a place where the noise never stops and the lights never go out. During the day, the streets were full of chaos, traffic, people shouting, sirens. But at night, the city transformed. It became quiet, still, almost peaceful, and I liked it that way. I've always been a night person. My roommate wasn't. He'd fall asleep early, like clockwork, and I'd be wide awake, restless. So, to clear my head, I'd go for walks, long walks through side streets, past old shops and empty parks. I did this for years, 4 years, same routes, same streets. Never once did I feel unsafe. I used to joke with my roommate that even the drug dealers around here were polite. I laughed about it then, but I don't laugh about that night, not anymore. It was a Wednesday, sometime between 1 and 2 in the morning. The air was cool, the streets were nearly empty, just how I liked it. I found myself walking near a park the city usually kept under patrol. There were no people, no cars, just me, and the sound of my own footsteps echoing across the pavement. I decided to turn down a short side street to loop back toward my apartment. I'd taken that street 100 times, same broken street lamp, same crooked stop sign. But that night, as I turned the corner, I saw him. At the far end of the sidewalk, a man. He was dancing. At first, I couldn't process what I was seeing. It wasn't just some guy stumbling or swaying. No, he was dancing, like a waltz. Slow, graceful, practiced movements, his arms floating softly through the air. And after each turn, each box step, he would take one exaggerated step forward. He was dance walking, and he was headed straight toward me. I watched for a second, confused. Thought maybe he was drunk, or high, or just strange. I stepped closer to the edge of the sidewalk, trying to give him room to pass. But the closer he got, the more wrong he seemed. He was tall, thin, wearing an old suit, loose-fitting and wrinkled, like it hadn't been washed in years. And the way he moved, it was too smooth. Like his body wasn't bound by the same joints the rest of us have. Like he was being pulled forward by invisible strings. When he got close enough to the nearest streetlight, I saw his face. His eyes were wide, too wide, unblinking, and he wasn't looking at me. He was looking upward, at the sky, head tilted back, and his mouth. God, his mouth. It was stretched into the biggest, most painful smile I'd ever seen. Not like someone happy or joyful. No, this was something else. His lips were pulled back so far, it looked like his skin might tear. It was the kind of smile you only see in cartoons or nightmares. Every instinct I had screamed at me to leave, so I crossed the street. I didn't run, not yet, but I made my way quickly to the other side, putting a whole lane of asphalt between me and him. I kept walking, tried not to look back, but curiosity won. I turned around just for a second, and he had stopped. He was standing perfectly still, 1 foot in the road, 1 foot on the sidewalk. His entire body turned to face me, but his eyes were still on the sky. That smile hadn't moved an inch. I froze. There was something wrong, deeply, deeply wrong. I tried to keep walking, tried to act like I didn't care, like he wasn't freaking me out. I looked away, just for a moment, to check the sidewalk ahead. When I looked back, he was gone, just gone. The spot where he stood was completely empty. At first I felt relief. Maybe he turned down another street. Maybe it was just some weirdo. I kept walking, but then I saw him again. He was across the street, crouched low, almost in a squat, hidden just inside the shadows of a building. He was watching me. He hadn't made a sound. I had looked away for 10 seconds. 10 seconds. And he had moved across the street and down the block. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. Then he started coming toward me again. Not dancing this time, not walking, tiptoeing like a cartoon villain. Knees lifted high, arms out for balance, sneaking, playfully, but too fast. It was wrong. Every part of it was wrong. I wanted to run. I should have. But my body refused. I stood frozen as he crept closer, one slow, exaggerated step at a time. Then, he stopped. No more than a car length away from me, still smiling, still looking at the sky, still absolutely disturbingly still. My mouth opened. I tried to say something, tried to be brave, but the only thing that came out was a whisper. What the fuh? And I heard it in my voice, the fear. I wasn't angry, I wasn't defiant, I was scared, and he knew it. But he didn't react, he didn't blink, didn't twitch, didn't stop smiling. He just stood there, and then, slowly, he turned around. Like a puppet on strings, no rush, no panic. He turned and began to dance walk away. Just like that. Like nothing had happened. I stood there, trying to make sense of it. Was I hallucinating, dreaming, losing my mind? But I watched him. I didn't take my eyes off of him. Not until he was halfway down the block. And that's when he stopped. Far away now. Just a silhouette under a broken streetlight. No dancing, no walking, just still. Facing me again. And then he started running. Full speed. Arms flailing at his sides. Head still tilted back. That awful smile never changing. He was running at me. That was it. My body moved before my brain did. I turned and ran. Fast. Faster than I ever had. I didn't look back. I ran until I was on a main road, under the glow of streetlights and distant cars. Only then did I stop and turn. He was gone. The street behind me was empty. I waited. Watched. Listened. Nothing. I made it home, locked every door, pulled every blind, sat in silence, listening to my own breath. I didn't sleep that night, and I never took another late night walk again. Not once. Not in that city. Not after that. There was something about his face that still haunts me. He didn't look drunk. He didn't look high. He looked completely, utterly insane. And that's the scariest thing I've ever seen.